my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
That's because I have my microphone turned off. Thank you for letting me know. I was so busy working on getting feature chat back up, which went down and was out, and the version that I had was no longer supported by Google Chrome anymore, but I found one, got it up and working, so that's what that was all about. That's why Raymond was saying, what's happening? It's because I was live, but I just was working on some stuff. Had to be live, had to see it on the screen, but I had the volume turned down on my phone, so I didn't notice that I had my mic muted. All is better now, right? I'm sure you guys can hear me fine now. Howdy, hi, hello. How are you, Miss Octavia? Thank you for dropping in. Mr. Raymond Carrera, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. McFly says, howdy, freaks. That's FPV Freaks is the name of our Discord. Excuse me. Got a few things different over. Let me see if I can do it right. Over here, we got a little tip jar thing. I don't know what that's going to do. And up here, it's giving a count of who is in the lead, from what I understand, with the most points in chat. So I'm looking into doing some stuff where you actually earn points and get some stuff from giveaways and stuff like that, but it takes me a lot longer than it does most other YouTubers, because I only have a very short amount of time that I can work on this stuff, like 30 minutes before every stream. So got some new lighting. I don't know if you guys can see, my face is lit up more. I don't know if it's more scarier or not, but you get to, somebody was telling me when I was messing with it, they was like, I didn't know you had blue eyes. I was like, I don't. I have almost grayish green eyes. So, but yeah, that's showing that the camera's getting better. The lighting's getting a little bit better. Let me know if it's a lot glare. I know there's a little bit of glare coming off from over here, but it lights up my face good. So that's where we're at. This tonight is supposed to be Prop Bros. I do have Jarvis on right now because none of the Prop Bros have logged on. So let me make sure. My phone looks like the chat has continued, but YouTube has done its thing once again, and yep, that's me. That's me. Let me pop this chat out again. There we go. That should get it working. That was Sleepy FPV. Let me see. I'm going to say hello again. See if it gets the chat going again. No, the chat seems to be locked it up. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That was my fault. That was my fault. I closed a window and turned the chat off. It's my fault. That wasn't YouTube's fault that time. That was my fault. And I started 3 minutes. I had 3 minutes of actual live setup time. About 3 minutes when I was playing that song. Did you guys like that song if you was watching it earlier on? That is, let me see if I can show it off to you. With my new microphone and stuff, I might not be able to, but let's see. Boom. Look at that. Was Creator Mix. You guys need to use this on your YouTube videos. It is 100% free. It's free for everybody to use and all of that. I'm trying to support them. Those guys are doing some pretty awesome stuff over there at Creators Mix. So if you guys can jump in there and support them by picking up a t-shirt, something like that. They have pretty cool t-shirts, and their music is 100% royalty free, and they encourage people who make music, musicians and things, they encourage you to put your own song together and become a contributor with them. So none of this, it's royalty free if you pay us $4.99 a month, and then everybody that listens to the song or uses, or if I play your video, I have to pay you $4.99 a month also. Creator Mix is free. It's completely free, and it's made for content creators and people that are members and submit things to content creators. See, it's not just about, some people say, well, I don't have any intentions of having a YouTube page. Do you have any intentions of submitting a flight video or something like that? If you do, then use Creator Mix. Everybody's like, well, I just use YouTube thing. Well, you got to be careful. Some of the YouTube, quote, royalty-free music, you have to put certain wording in the description, and if you don't word it right, yeah, they'll hit you with a copyright on that. And I showed one of somebody's videos the other day, and they said it was royalty free, so I let the music play for just a little bit, and they dinged me again. So I had to cut the audio out of it, and it just, for the people that go back and watch, it's bad. So, yeah, again, Creators Mix. Show them some love. If you're in the market at all for free, royalty-free music. I was playing a song. Let me see what it was. It was Stomp, Moving Mountains. And I'll have to turn, if Jarvis speaks up, there'll be a little double audio, but we'll look and see.
What do you mean? Are they trying?
Yeah. Yeah, let's stop it. What do you mean, are they trying to kill hobbies? I started it for a little while, and Jarvis and the Stream Deck will conflict. That's a good question. We're going to get into that tonight. Senate Bill, boom, let me look it up. HR, I think it's 3444. Nope. Maybe it's 3888. Something like that. Let's see. No. Let me do a search here. It's a Senate bill to really shut down the airspace. I thought I had it. Well, that's what I think from my memory. It's a House resolution is what it is because it's an HR. Come on. One of the prop bros was going to have a lot of information on this, but to affect you. 4333. That's it. Had it. Not dyslexic being easy, guys. Yeah, well, let's look at it. Let me switch my screen over. See, nope. Give me just a moment. I've still got audio, right? Yep. Yeah, I mean, just a moment. I was all set up to get Discord going, but there's no one in Discord yet, so we will do this. Ah, here we go. Well, crud. I have to reshape it all, guys. That's what this is. OBS for you. You just start something new, and OBS gets all hangry about it. But anyway, this is HR 4333 is the bill, and it's safeguarding the homeland from threats posed by unmanned aircraft systems Act of 2023. They started looking into this, started going into this in 2023, but the bill is designed. It's coming out of the House of Representatives. They started to look into it, but it's to enhance the authority granted to the Department of Homeland Security. This is not an FAA thing yet. It's a bill to enhance the Department of Homeland Security. I don't know if you guys can read that. With respects to unmanned aircraft and unmanned aircraft systems and unmanned aircraft and for other purposes. Let me just break this thing down. They are saying in this bill, and I recommend that you go read it. There's we can listen to it, but that's I don't think I can handle that. How's it going, Mr. Lee?
DJ Lee, Mr. Lee.
How's it going, brother? We just talking about the HR 4333, the Homeland Security. This comes from the same subcommittee that was formed after 9/11 to keep America safe. And I don't know, for those of you that regularly watch the channel, we do have Jarvis going, so if you guys want to say something, put the exclamation point in front of it, just like Sleepy did here, and then a space, and then Jarvis will read out whatever you want. But this is the same subcommittee that's tasked with keeping the homeland safe. And if you remember, those of you that watch the channel regularly, probably about a month or so ago, we showed a video of where Ukraine took tractor trailer trucks, semi trucks, and they had the trailers of them lined or filled with drones. Some of them were radio control, some of them were FPV, and some of them were fiber optically controlled. You might not be aware of that, but right now Rotor Riot has a video out about that. That it's actually a UAV that the data, the video, FPV data is sent down a fiber optic wire, like a fishing line, coming out the back of the thing on a spool, and it's unjammable. And what Ukraine did, let's be real, with the help of NATO, coming in, and I think they said it was like 800 or something like that, attack drones, basically took out well over half, some people say as much as 90% of Russia's long-range bombers. They were just out there flying explosives, almost like it's an equivalent to an RPG being fired at the wing of their long-range bombers. And Congress asked in one of the subcommittee meetings about HR 433. They had 3, maybe 4 companies that are Department of Defense subcontractors that are trying to sell the government anti-drone technology. And what the chairman of that committee, it's not Grassley, but I don't forget his name, but it's one of the muckety mucks up in politics. He asked the question. He said, could a foreign actor do that, bring a truck in across the border or even up to the border in Mexico or Canada and swarm these drones into our country? And they were like, definitely, yes, we are vulnerable to that. And they're like, well, what safeguards do we have to stop that, to come against it? And they said, right now, nothing. And that, with those testimonies, that brought together the Democrats and the Republicans. And it's not looking good for any, this is what they're talking about, any outside unmanned aerial flight. Rockets. This bill, in a nutshell, it does a few things. The first thing that it does is it wants to have the entire airspace over this country to be monitored and regulated, that anything that is flying that is not an animal, any man-made object that's in flight, and whether there's any man-made object that's in flight, maybe with the exception of a kite, paper airplane from a building, but if it constitutes a UAV, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle, then they want to know what the purpose is of every one of them. If your TinyWhoop, if you take your TinyWhoop up 6 foot off the grass in your front yard, this bill, this HR 4333, if passed, you will have to, it's a 3-stage approval to even fly anything. And here's a kicker with it. One of the, I think it was the chairman, one of the guys in the committee, old gray-headed guy, asked the question. He said, what about the toy drones from Walmart, the little ones? Could they carry an explosive and be used to fly into something or fly over something? And could they be used as a weapon? And all 3 of these men were like, yes. And So back to the the three part verification system. I keep checking. One, they want every aircraft that is in the sky to be trackable everywhere. They want it to be linked. They said remote ID is not enough.
BMF_Spade_FPV.
How's it going, BMF? Yes, they were. But they were U.S. drone manufacturers and anti-drone manufacturer. They're doing both. They were creating systems to defeat drone swarms. I watched probably about 2 hours on C-SPAN while I listened to it as I was driving down the road, and it's not good. It's not good at all. Yes, these guys stand to profit hugely over what they were given. But one thing you got to understand is these men were testifying in front of Congress. They were sworn in, and whether they were lying or not, I don't know. But if they were perjuring themselves. So, I mean, and the stuff they were saying is factually true. But we've had that same technology since nitro-powered airplanes in the 20s and 30s. Hot air balloons before that. But here's the thing. When that went off, when that happened in Ukraine, and Ukraine with 2 semi-trucks and under $100,000 worth of drones took out the majority, as some would say, at least as a substantial amount of Russia's long-range bombers and fighter jets. That we talked about it here on the channel, and
I will not bow down to tyranny.
yeah. Well, and that maybe what it takes is, is people I don't know. Let me just finish what we're talking about, and then I'll give you some of my personal opinions on it, or my full take on it. How about that? Back to the 3-part thing. They want the whole entire airspace. Now, they didn't say anything about FRIAs. I think when the dust settles, the government will allow FRIAs, but if you fly outside of that FRIA by accident, just by a little bit, this system that these contractors are wanting to put in place to watch the whole entire sky over the United States, from what they say, will immediately pick it up. They will be able to know that it's either flying legal or not, because if it's flying legal, it's going to say what it is, what its intentions are, and exactly who is flying it and where they're at.
Loco 619.
And how's it going,
Marty,
June?
pray for me. I got bit by a brown widow spider. My back is in major pain. Sign of the horns fire.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man. You got to watch was it a black widow or a brown recluse? Them brown recluse, man, are they're bad news, man. Bad news. I definitely will, man. Let me make a note of that. I'm still of the kind that that write stuff down. I definitely will, brother. Those things can be very serious. So they want to have the whole entire airspace where anything that's flown on it, it's going to pick up immediately that something is flying. Something as small as a 65 millimeter whoop or smaller, that this system will pick it up and it'll immediately be able to see, okay, it'll match it to a database that says so-and-so, a Part 107 pilot is going to be doing filming, or this hobby club is going to be doing recreation flight in this area, or what. They will know exactly how many people are going to be flying, are supposed to be flying, what they're going to be flying. Every craft that is to be flown will have to be registered to the person, that when, not only when they pull them up will it give like a I mean, these guys are reaching way past FAA. They want to take it right in to the Department of Homeland Security and make it enforceable by the U.S. military and the National Guard and all of that, and can tell exactly who it is, and if it is deemed to be an unknown aerial vehicle, then they want tactical response teams. And already in the county that I live in, I've already talked to some people, because I used to be in law enforcement and close with a lot of those guys many years ago now. But in our county, they're looking. They're already putting the feelers out for people to join a tactical drone response team. And my understanding, this is not people to run around with CB radios and a remote ID sensor. This is people like us that can fly, that if nothing else, you can fly your drone into the drone or drones coming in and take them out. Because they asked this question, this come up in the hearing. They said that a DJI Mavic type, it was a DJI airplane, Mavic type is how they put it. I got it here in my notes. It's a Mavic type aircraft flew into the Capitol, into Washington, D.C., which is a total, complete no-fly zone for drones, period. It's a restricted airspace, no questions. And I believe they said it come in from Maryland. I think they said it crossed the Potomac, so it might have been Virginia. I don't remember. But D.C. sits in between Virginia and Maryland, if you don't know. But this Mavic came in over the Potomac and was on a direct path to the White House. And these men that were testifying said the sad thing was that Capitol Police did not... Yeah, get your butt to the doctor. Capitol Police did not have the authority to take, if it starts turning black or gets a ring around it at all, go. I don't want to scare you, June, but I did a benefit for a 6-year-old girl that was bit in the chest by a brown recluse spider, and she went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, we'll watch it, and she went back home and died. So if you think it's a brown recluse, don't mess with it, man. Just be safe. And of course I'll be praying for you. But they said that this Mavic type drone had flown across the Potomac and was on a direct route for the White House, and that Capitol Police had no authority or no power to do anything about it. And it took the Secret Service. The guide said that the Secret Service took it down, I think he said within a mile or a mile out from the White House. Now, I think there would have been reports, maybe not, they might have had a really good suppressor. Someone was talking to me and said, yeah, they probably took a sniper. They probably someone up there on, they said, Secret Service on top of the White House took it out. And that they were the only ones that had authority in the Capitol to shoot an aircraft out of the sky or or down an aircraft out of the sky. Don't know if they shot it with a traditional projectile or did some type of EMP or something, but that right there, there was no indication that the drone had anything nefarious on it, that it, didn't look like it's didn't look like it was about to, didn't look like it had any kind of ordnance strapped to it. But still, then they got to talking about how DJI purposefully took down the geofencing that would stop that, and that just made it all worse. By the end of that hearing that I listened to, it was a video, a C-SPAN video, but I was driving. At the end of that video, it seemed like everyone on that committee was ready to federally enforce with terrorist level offense anyone who broke this proposed law if it gets passed. If this law passes, HR 4333, the hobby as we know it is gone. Now, I said as we know it. Doesn't mean that it's totally gone. We can move inside.
All this stuff is talk about in the Bible.
Well, it doesn't mention drones, but it talks about creatures and it talks about things, that people in the Bible wouldn't understand, flying around, stinging people, and well, I think it'd be pretty hard to hit another FPV drone in flight, but I'm pretty sure I could hit a Mavic coming in, an Inspire or something like that, something big enough to carry an ordnance, something autonomous. But if it's another FPV drone, yeah. But there's other things for that, and I'm not by any means am I saying that I'm supporting. What's up, Gage? How's it going, man? You guys, please.
FPV gaps.
Gaps. I'm sorry. I said Gage. Listen to me. Welcome, FPV Gaps. If you guys would, while you're here, be so kind to smash that like button.
How can they caught us if we use TinyWhoop, even that our 433 is passed?
Yeah, it's 4333. There's 3 3s. But what they're asking for, and I don't think they would be asking for it unless they think that they could do it. I would think that we would see retrofitting of antennas, dishes of some size on just about every cell phone tower around. And what they asked for is that's what this bill asks for, is it asks for the permission to make a system, to build a system that would be able to detect even a small Walmart size UAV toy that is being flown in the country. So, you know, I don't know if you guys have done any research into the high altitude surveillance drones that they've got, that how that they can put something the size of a Reaper up 20,000 feet up if the weather's clear. The cameras on those are so good to do facial recognition over a whole entire city, a large city. So the technology's there. When you mix putting up surveillance drones like Reaper-sized drones, airplanes, you mix that with the cell phone towers, all they would have to do is make a federal law retrofitting every commercial aircraft with sensors in the belly of the airplane that would pick up radio signals or drone swarms. There's a lot. I mean, our skies are full. I mean, they're full. And one of the things that they said is now in America. I don't believe this. I think they were lying. I think they were lying to Congress. But one of the guys made the statement that now in America there's twice as many drones in the air on any given day as there are commercial aircraft. I think that's bullcrap. But does it really matter if it's bullcrap or not? Because they're saying it is. They're saying it's real. Many of you watching are old enough to remember the Gulf War, when we sent troops to Iraq to take out Saddam Hussein because
we have so much litter in space, it's unreal.
Right. But we sent children or boys over there to die because of false intelligence that said that Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons. And that's now out that wasn't true. And so I do think the hobby is at risk. Let me look into I think for the most part, I'm trying to see if I want to start talking about this is a Senate resolution bill. So three quarters of it is just, see, the FBI. This is, they want the Federal Bureau of Investigation to be looking into this stuff. The U.S. Marshals, and it's not just if this passes, it's not just the FAA that's going to come to you or send you an email and hit you with a big fine like they did. Philly Drone Mike or something, whatever that guy's name was, or NERC, when they fined NERC for flying too close to a train. They're not talking about that stuff anymore. They're talking about this being a matter of homeland security, and this coming out of the budget to keep us safe. The Department of Justice, the Department of the DOD will be involved in this, and it's not good. it's not good at all. Let me answer some questions if you guys have got any questions on it. Before I start getting into what, yeah, it's going to see me smiling at them. Let me go ahead real quick and read the names of the people that was here early. Raymond Carrera was here, and Octavia Swan, McFly's FPV, Sleepy FPV, Mr. DJ Lee, and BMF Spade. It's not dyslexic being easy, y'all, forgive me. BMF Spade FPV was June Loco. Get your butt and the rest of you to a doctor, my brother. Black Widow is a little different than Brown Recluse, so if you think it was a Black Widow, it's unlikely that you'll die, especially if it's in your butt. I don't mean that ugly, but that's just, they're not as, not as deadly as, but you're out west. I mean, here the Brown Recluse are, and them things are jacked up, man. They will get you. So FPV Gaps was here, and if you want the fat man to read your name, you got to get here a little early in the stream. And okay, so yeah, the space litter is horrid. What's all up there? So my take, let's see. June Loco is number 1 with 151 points right now. Don't know all about all that yet. Just working with it. So McFly's is. See, I don't know how that works.
Got any mail calls today? Lol.
No, none that I want to, that I'm able to say anything about yet. Been doing a lot of work. A lot of my spare time has been spent on getting sponsorships for the race that's coming up in October. You having a big race in October? I am. We are. Middle Tennessee Drone Racing is sponsoring the largest Southeast Micro Drone Championship to ever be held in the U.S. And it is going to be in a 60 by 120 indoor building that's almost the size of a gym. And it's going to be blacklight. It's going to be blacklight racing, and I may be driving it. Man, I hope so. I hope to see you, brother. I'd like to meet you and shake your hand. The tickets are on sale on the Facebook page, but they're also on sale at 533. You can go on to 533 and pick up your tickets there. It doesn't cost you any more to get them there than it does anywhere else, and actually helps them out a little bit because they're a big sponsor for us. So if you are going to buy, that's where I recommend you buy your ticket through 533, and it's on the Facebook page all about that. We are giving out tokens, and we're doing a lot of things different. We're going to do some things that's fun. Not that other races aren't fun, but we're doing things different. We're, down here in the Southeast where things are done different than they are in a lot of places in America. And we're going to show a little bit of Southern hospitality to our racers. We are giving away cash prizes for the top seats. And we're also going to be giving away merch. And they will be giveaways, random giveaways that'll be happening during the race. That's if you're a pilot and you're there and you're ranked dead last. It's it's probable, likely that you're going to win something in a drawing. We are trying to get it. This is the stage we're at now. We're trying to get sponsors from a lot of manufacturers. Jim Fan just signed on with us last night. Beta FPV's right on the edge. And we're just trying to get those type sponsors now so that we definitely get you some good old Southern sweet tea, man. The kind that you really don't even need a cup. It just kind of forms. You know, whew, my blood sugar's getting high just talking about it. But yeah, I'm excited about it. And so, but we're trying to get some of the manufacturers out there. We're talking with VCI, Motor Company, and different things, so that hopefully we will have enough merch that every pilot's going to get something. They're going to get a bag that's going to have stuff in it that's worth at least the cost of your ticket. So, I miss hush puppies. Woo. We got them down here, brother.
Jason Levin.
How's it going, Jason? We got them down here. Sweet tea, catfish, fried taters, and hush puppies. That'll make your tongue just come out and start slapping your face. It will. I know that we live in a time and stuff like this HR Bill 333 or 4333 is aggravating and everything, and you can just drive down the road and get angry and mad. So take out all your frustration, if you would, on that like button. Just pound it in real good. Let YouTube know that you are all about FPV. Whatever FPV videos you're watching, any content that's FPV, whether you like the person behind it, whether you think it was the suckiest video or not, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really, really just hate it and all of that, then hit the down arrow. That really helps. Believe it or not, that helps the content creator also, just as much as you hitting the like button. But what responding, taking the time to hit the like button or not, what that tells YouTube is that they need to push FPV type videos to more people. And the more likes a video gets, the more views, the more comments you guys make. That's why we got this contest going. I don't really understand how it works. But we can figure it out together.
FPV.
How's it going, Tegma? I suppose no one is making the case for drones to be covered under the Second Amendment. You know, something that in Virginia Beach and South Carolina, man, you close enough. South Carolina, Virginia Beach, come on, you're close enough to come on over and be a part of the Southeast. Oh, catfish. Did I say your right words there, FPV Gaps? Yeah. But it's well, you know what? But see, even if you was to strap a bang bang, a pew pew onto it, have to be careful, because talk about getting a video, they don't show it to nobody. You start mentioning that stuff right there, which I'm all for. I mean, yeah. If you look closely, you can see some right there. But Bob How's it going, Bags? Pastor, I'm here in the
Bags
chat. But I'm watching your last stream right now. Drop back when it's over. All right, man. That works. That works. I will not be streaming this Thursday. If you guys can remember me, I have a bad tooth. It's got a nerve exposed. Hurts a little bit. Nothing like a kidney stone. But it's one in the back. And they said the roots are all the way up into my sinus cavity. So tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time, I've got to go to an oral surgeon. And I don't have dental insurance, so I'm having to pay cash for it. So they were like, we can put you to sleep or we can just numb you. And yank the thing out. I was like, what's the difference in this? $1,000. $1,000 to $1,200 difference. I was like, just pull it out. So that's what I want to be doing tomorrow. And that's why I will not be having a stream Thursday night, because even if it goes well, they're not going to want me to sit and run my mouth all night. So, and y'all know, once you get me started, it's hard to get me to stop. You don't have to put a bun on it. Drones are used for security, situational awareness, and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it's the same argument that is saying my fork made me fat. You know, so that's, yep. Use them to map terrain. Yeah, I mean, they're used by law enforcement, farmers. Yeah, I mean, search and rescue. There's a lot of things. But see, all of these things that Hunter's talking about here, and I have got to figure out what's going on with feature chat. Did I not give it a big enough space? Let me look. Because it seems to be cutting. All right, let's see here. Go back. I don't know why it's doing that. I just made it bigger. Let me look. Let's see. See what that does. Whoa. That was a lot. Let me do that again. Let's see what. I'm just putting in numbers. I really don't know what they do. See, that was 400 and the other one's 500. Let's see what happens when I put 450 in. You know, I don't know, guys. That's about right. Well, it cuts off the bottom, doesn't it? Nope. Not if I pull it up there. There we go. Let's give that a shot right now. All right. Yeah, I mean, but all of those things, except for maybe hunters, mapping out terrain, all of that kind of stuff, those people would be able to get approval to fly, and they'd be flying something big enough that could have some type of radio transponder on it that would tell what it is and all of those types of things. What it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt racing, freestyling, you know, because you got to get approval. It's like, why do you want to be flying around this old abandoned mall? The property says no trespassing. Certainly you can't fly there. And, you know, and the thing that concerned me when I listened to it, is that they're not talking about taking your drone, fining you $10,000 or something. They're talking about that once this is up and going, if you're caught doing it, it's prison time. Terrorist charges. Domestic terrorism charges. That's what they're talking. So, that's right. Banning them doesn't keep them out of terrorist hands or criminals' hands. Just like the states with the strictest gun laws have some of the highest gun deaths. But remote ID, and you guys, those of you that's been around for a while, know me as the guy that, I don't know, clean up the mess here a little bit and show you. Some of you may remember me as the guy. Oh, here we go. As the guy that made the Calvin peeing on, get over here, on remote ID, put them on shirts, took them out, gave them away, sold them, things like that. So I'm not for more government restriction. I'm definitely not. I wouldn't call myself Republican or Democrat. A lot of people think that just because I'm a pastor that I'm dyed-in-the-wool Republican. I consider myself more of a libertarian in the part that less laws, less federal laws. Let the states take care of it. That's the way I look at it. Yes, buns are not only good on hamburgers, but they can be used for sport too. And you don't need permission to go to the range and put a bun downrange. And I agree with you. Me as a person who has, I have a range in my backyard with AR-500 steel. Our church, on the 8 acres that we use for recreational stuff, we also have a 4-lane range that's a pistol range or can be used as a 380 plus yard range. So I am definitely, don't be sorry. Please blow the chat up. No. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can blow the chat up all you want here. That's what we're here for. Q&A. We want, and you don't even have to super chat me to get me to answer your question. Now, I'll be very much appreciative of it. And, but, keep kinetics away from bad actors. Well, yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, remote ID, let the cat out of the bag, or started the toothpaste coming out of the tube, and you're never going to get it back in. So I don't know what the answer to it is. I know, and well, I'm just going to say this: DJI screwed themselves.
Anyone who has land has a range on it.
Just about. I mean an actual range that's approved by insurance and pushed up and got regular size dirt mound behind it and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, DJI, love them or hate them, they screwed the hobby big time. If you watch, DJI is starting to make a move into solar power generators and things like that. They're trying to take over like EcoFlow and Blue Eddy. They're getting into that space, and e-bikes, things like that, and which they're in cameras and gimbals and all of that. And I think when they purposefully took out the geofencing, I think they knew then that the cat was out of the bag in America. And now they're shifting, from what I understand, they're shifting completely away from drone sales here in the United States at all. And the two incidences that I know of a manned aerial vehicle hitting, or unmanned aerial vehicle hitting a manned aerial vehicle, both of those were DJI products. The fire in California, and just recently in Texas, a helicopter had to land because it was hit by a Mavic, is my understanding. I think it was a Mavic Mini, but that doesn't help anything. Oh yeah, it's fun. I think that drone operator needs to make the case that I think that drone operators need to make the case that drones can be for civilian sport or otherwise. Well, have we not made the case? I'm back. Great job last week. Thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you. We really tried to bring some levity in all of that, and still working to try to do that and help people understand some things. But this Senate bill here, this 4333, it's said that a house divided cannot stand. I wonder where that's from. Not that it will not or could not, or might not, but that it cannot. A house divided cannot stand. And I would say we're probably about as more divided in the hobby than I think I've seen ourselves in a long time. Star Wars. BMF Spaces. I think the helicopter hit the Mavic, not the other way around. As someone who was in manned aviation, I was a photogrammetrist for a long time. We flew up and took aerial photos and made topographic surveys and as-built surveys, statewide maps for a while. That doesn't matter. Any unmanned aerial vehicle should stay completely away from anything in the air that has a human in it or on it. And that's just, how fast was the helicopter flying? 80, 90 miles an hour. We don't know. The drones are small. The stuff that we heard about, that airline pilots say that they saw a drone back during the Phantom generation, said that, they saw it for 10 minutes off the right wing of the airplane, and they're flying at 500 and something miles an hour. Bullcrap. That's like saying, I was driving in the desert and I saw a basketball sitting on the side of the road 10 miles away. It's baloney. And a Mavic, if you've ever flown them, if you've flown a full-size Mavic, you don't have to get very far for that thing to be out of visual line of sight. And, someone flying an airplane at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, it doesn't take them long to close the gap between I can't see anything and there it is. So, yeah, we if we have any hope of saving outside recreational flight, all of us in this hobby have got to start calling out and telling people, dude, if you don't stop with the stupidity, you know, and that's just all it was. I don't know if it was a kid. I don't know who it was. But if you're flying a Mavic around trying to look at disaster stuff and they've got rescue helicopters in the air, you are grossly negligent. And, you know, something that's not even being considered now that I hoped would be something that we could hang on to, a catalyst that we could hang on to, was sheltered operations. I think there was a time before remote ID, and maybe even a little while after it, that if we would have come together as a hobby, if the airplane people, the helicopter people, and the drone people, and the cinematography drone people, the autonomous drone people, if we all would have come together, we might have gotten sheltered operations approved, which means you can fly anywhere under the tree canopy that's not restricted airspace. I think we could have got that.
I have 2 drones that have Jesus dolls on them, so that mean they are man right.
They are dolled. They are figured. We used to put. I've got a airplane. Let me see. I got several that's got figures in them, and I got one over here it's a Pitts, black and red Pitts. I want to hollow out the man's head because he's got like a helmet on and he's got this thing around his neck and it kind of flaps when it flies. I want to hollow out his head and put a pan tilt camera in it that turns. So, but look, I'm gonna have time to do that. But anyway, one time we had a hope for sheltered operations. That's gone. I believe. I don't even think that's in consideration now. They're saying that, and I mean, just look at what Ukraine has been able to do to hold back Russia with drones, the same things that we fly. And somebody come up with a way to put a bunch of them in the back of a couple of tractor trailer trucks and launch an assault over the borders of Ukraine and into Russia, and it was successful. And that's just, war is bad. And this, I mean, look at all the freedoms that we lost after 9/11 with the signing of the Patriot Act. The people, when they feel like they're in danger, they will give up freedoms. And I hope I'm wrong. Somebody put a comment in here that'll help me see I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm concerned that our goose is cooked. And I'm a micro guy, that the majority of my flights are indoors. Scared sheeple. Yeah. Sheeple. Too many sheep and not enough sheepdogs. But that's just, it is what it is. I mean, it's proposed. The bill it's out there. Yeah. Let me show you this part here. They've been looking at this thing since 2023, since June of 2023. I think that's when remote ID, wasn't that around the time when remote ID went into effect? But you can see right here. See if I can highlight it. Right there. It says introduced in the House 6/23/2023. This is not something that they've just now started talking about. This thing it's coming to the end. It's either going to pass or going to fail. It's done had several changes and rewrites.
This
And
not about safety, it's about control, like I need a real ID to fly in a free county.
yeah. Well, isn't that, now, why did that get small? Huh. Got a new version of my program here. Feature chat. Let me unlock it again. See if I can make it overall bigger. There we go. Did I move the... Oh, I think I did. I think I moved the regular chat out of the way, didn't I? Yep. No, I didn't. It's crap on a cracker. Yes. That's a good way to put it, Octavia. It sucks. And if history proves true, some form of this is up here, or whatever how it is going to pass. And this is so... I'm trying to think of a different word other than draconian, but it is so much worse than remote ID that if half of it passes, if half of this is made into... How's it going, Vessel RX? Dystopian. Yep. Now look, his is small. I've got to go in and look. I think it's doing them in different sizes. Huh. So we will see if Raymond's is still good size. Yeah. Let's go up here to that one that had a lot. Okay. That's readable. That's readable. Welcome, Vessel RX. Yes, dystopian is a good term. 1984, and not the good 1984. But you know, there's parts in this bill. I'm not recommending that you go read it because it'll make you want to. It will make you want to choke yourself. You know, make you want to unalive yourself. Is that the words they use? Like that guy that tech guy that was going to be a whistleblower. I think it was against Microsoft or something. Literally said he killed himself, shot himself twice in the head. I see. Ooh. Unalive. I'm talking about Elmer Fudd when he would do that during Bugs Bunny. You know, he would say that drill the rabbit, or you know what. Talking about Elmer Fudd, YouTube. So, but anyway, so you know, and even that's sad. It's just sad. It's just crazy that word police, thought police, drone police. Hope they don't come after our sweet tea. So, but yeah, this thing This thing is going to pass in some form or another, because they're wanting this thing pushed through this year, is my understanding. And we all probably going to have to come together and start buying some indoor warehouses, because, you know, manufacturing's gone, out of America. Malls, they're closing malls. So, you know, all of you freestyle guys need to come together and, start you a COB, a community-based organization. I've done it. It's not that hard. There's just some rules and guidelines that you got. There's, hoops that you got to jump through, but come together and buy up these old malls that they're closing down and stuff, and turn them into, FPV freestyle places and a skating rink on the other end or something like that. And I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, but if this thing here comes to life in whatever form that they mutated into, flying in your front yard will become felony level, lock you up for a long time level crimes. And most people in the hobby are not even aware that this has been going on for 2 years. This thing has been building. It's been escalating. They've been built every time somebody does something stupid with a drone. Every time, the Ukraine does something spectacular, and by that I mean a spectacle. The literal meaning of the word spectacular. That's a spectacle that people are really paying attention to with drones. They're using it either for good or for bad, and it's sad because, events like I.O., and I've never been to Rampage, but I'm sure that it's pretty awesome. I'm not a big freestyler. Never really liked it, but yes, Spade FPV. I did see. I mentioned it earlier in the chat that Rotor Riot actually got with one of the companies that are selling they're selling, what was it, 8 to 30 mile fiber optic guided drones. Talking about cutting the silver cord. Some of you have no clue what I'm talking about, but yep, the tethered drones. Rotor Riot's got a video out on it. Watched it last night. It's some of the drones that were in the back of the truck in the Ukraine were tethered with fiber optics. Yep. And, it's innovation is great, but when the Department of Homeland Security sees this and they're like, well, wait, a radio jammer wouldn't take that out of the sky? Nope. It didn't with Russia. The only thing that will take something like that out of the sky is kinetic energy, a bullet or some type of projectile, a golden eagle, something like that. I think it's cool when they use eagles to bring them down, or an EMP. But you can't really go blasting EMPs up into the air, you know, because it's just a matter of time that you do that, and then you're going to bring down a manned aircraft. So, oh yeah, it's educational. Yeah, but no, this is after. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, Rotor Riot, come on. What was it? It's been 2 months ago. It was before, I believe it was before I/O that Skip and I was talking about. We showed the AI rendering just a few days after it happened, how the Ukraine and NATO took out a bunch of Russian fighter jets and bombers with that technology. That's just educational. You know, there was a book when I was growing up. I'm not going to say its name because it'll probably get me. June the 1st, Operation Spiderweb. Absolutely. Uh, Thank you, because I'd had that in my notes here and skipped over it. Thought I was done. Yeah. Didn't have the date, though. Operation Spiderweb. I did was super interesting. What happened to all the wire laying all over? Cassettes. Free ray unraveling from. Oh, you talking about old cassette tapes? You could take them and just unravel them forever and forever. Well, I did fiber optic splicing for just a little while, just probably about 3 months before I fell off a telephone pole and blew out my right knee. And it's incredible how much data you can carry down a one strand the size of a human hair of fiber optic cable, and it travels at the speed of light. Watch Rotor Riot's video. I knew this before. I worked in fiber optics for probably about a year, but actually was in depth involved with it for several months before I blew up my knee. But like one strand back in the mid 90s could carry like 1,500 full text copies of Moby Dick both ways from here to England at the speed of light. So you talking? There's no latency. Is there enough bandwidth for me to have 4K video? If you put a 4K video on the drone or on the airplane, whatever it is you're sending up, and you've got a fiber optic tether, you can see you can do 8K. You could do 8K quality video at latency that makes HDzero look like crap. And that mission will go down in war history. Yeah, as it exactly. It's changed everything. And they talked about that extensively in this C-SPAN interview that I was in on, or that I watched. It was bad.
Game.
I think Skip may be here. I think I hear him in the background. We'll see if we get him on here.
Yeah, hang on just a second.
All right. Yeah, that's Skip. Let me know when you're ready. We'll switch over. But yeah, Verizon has fiber optics. Yeah. When I was a kid, they laid fiber optics across the Atlantic Ocean so you could talk instantaneous from here to England on the telephone. And that was a big thing back then. And yeah, yeah. It's, well, you don't have to do a fake flag if you've got a country willing to let you come in and do it, if you follow what I'm saying. And tinfoil hat theory, but it's really not. It's they've had this technology for a while, and if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the Rotor Riot video where they take that spool and put it on the back of a drone. And they said one of them, if my memory serves me correct, I think they said one of them had they had one that had 30-mile or 30-kilometer worth of fiber optics in the back of it. I mean, that becomes a low yield Tomahawk cruise missile that cost $2,000, $3,000 instead of $300,000 or $2 million. I mean, see, that's attrition. That's what's kept Ukraine alive. It's attrition. They've been destroying multi-million-dollar jets, multi-million-dollar bombers, multi-million-dollar tanks with $500 FPV drones and free RPGs. Just the projectile of an RPG. NATO gives it to them. They put it on a drone and they send it over. So well, I think at the Vessel RXs, are we supposed to find and clean up the cable? Well, the cable, for one, it's like small fishing line. And two, it is glass. It's not plastic. It is real fiber optical glass, and not tinseled glass or anything like that. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but to the average person, it's might be a little bit more cumbersome than a thick spider web. So, I mean, I don't think they're worried about that. If it comes to the place that we're sending over, we're on that level, then there's a whole lot more that they're worried about than is there a piece of fiber optic string laid over somebody's property. I don't think they'd be worried about that anyway. So I don't know. It's alarming what's going on with all of this, and I'm afraid that we're only seeing the beginning of it.
Hey, what's up, Pastor?
How's it going, Skip? Let me pull over here and give me 1 second. There he is. Let me turn my extra self off.
Yeah, sorry I'm running late. Had a busy day today.
It's all right. People was just like, find Skip and string him up. No, I was joking. I thought I turned myself off. No, I didn't. I got two me's. That's a spooky thing. Turn off. There we go. Let me reverse myself so that because that bothers me that on air behind me when I go on Discord reads backwards.
So how much
But
have you talked
not
about
anymore.
the,
We have not read parts of it. Talked it extensively about the Bill 4333 that is coming out of subcommittee. Well, and it's proposed to the House that would restrict any UAV flight in the country that's not pre-approved and makes remote ID look like kid stuff. So I'd like to hear your take on some of it.
well, from what I understand, they want to know everything about your flight path, where you're flying from, what you're doing, what you're flying,
Yep.
and it's a 3-step digital
And who you are.
verification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who you are.
Yep.
And I don't know how they're going to do all that without GPS. And I mean, unless they got an app for you to verify, kind of like we do already.
It's
If you're
insane.
doing the Lance.
Mm-hmm.
McFly's gave you $20 for freedom.
For freedom. Thank you, brother. Oh yeah. Thank you. I see that there.
So
For freedom.
what I said that when this whole remote ID thing started is we already have DJI recognizing aircraft in the air
Mm-hmm. Yes.
when it comes up. I don't see why we couldn't have that in everything.
Well, see, what I watched, I don't know if you were so busy or not. We talked a little bit last night, Skip and I did. I watched, I believe it was a Senate subcommittee meeting on C-SPAN where it had 3 or 4 DOD contractors that were testifying about, they were drone manufacturers and people that were also making counter drone systems. And they were talking about what Ukraine did with the tethered drones and flying, how they successfully took out a lot of Russia's bombers and all of that. And they want to know everything. And I believe they already know how they're going to go about it. They want permission. They want the funding to build a network that will be able to tell even if a TinyWhoop is in the air anywhere in the country. That's what they're talking about. They don't get to know. Phil says they don't get to know. Well, I hope not. But I recommend it. I mean, it's boring watching C-SPAN. But, I was listening to it driving down the road, and man, it just seemed like they just kept laying and just piling stuff on and piling stuff on. And they said it was a DJI Mavic that hit that helicopter and caused it to land down in Texas that was trying to rescue children out of the flood. Then they tell of a story that a DJI drone, Mavic type, flew over the Potomac into the Capitol, into D.C., and Capitol Police couldn't do nothing. They didn't have any authorization to do anything about it. And it had to get close enough for the Secret Service to take it down. And, somebody said, well, that they didn't shoot it with a gun because that had been all over the news, that shots fired from the top of the White House because I think the guy said that Secret Service from the roof of the White House took down the Mavic drone. But I mean, they could be in one of them little rooms in there with a suppressed rifle, and a 223 small, tiny little bullet can be suppressed really low, especially if you're shooting from inside of a building. And they hit it and took it out, or some kind of EMP or whatever. But
They have those jammer guns
yeah,
that land them and take them out.
I think they said, but they took it out within a mile from the from the White House. So that's a long that's a long shot for a jammer or even an EMP. So, but they got lasers and stuff too. So, I mean, we've already seen that. The Navy's got those lasers that just lock right onto the things and burn them up. So, but
yeah, I would say that it had to be slow moving, like it wasn't a race drone or nothing like
no,
that for sure, because those things are hard to hit.
yeah.
I've watched a thing where they had people trying to shoot at them, and the only time they could get them is when they stood still.
Yeah, I watched Rotor Riot did a video on that years ago where they had police officers, and they were flying around a paintball field, and they were trying to shoot them, and for the most part, no.
I think so. I think micro drones is going to be where it's at.
I think you're right.
3 inch and under.
Yep. Those
and indoor racing.
I think you're right. Those that fail to prepare are preparing to fail. And I think that's one of the things. What you got? You got like a band of married children there with you, Skip?
Yeah, I got the kids here.
You got the kids?
Yeah.
Hello,
I'm
kids.
fixing to move to my other room.
She looked at the screen and she's like, I ain't waving hi at that guy. He looks gross. So
I'm gonna move to my other room for a minute.
oh, it's all right. All right, man. But, yep. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And whatever version of House Resolution 43333 comes to life, y'all forgive Phil. He not playing with a full deck. So some of blink twice if you need help. No, remember, it's this, right? This is, I don't know if you guys have seen that. This is the universal sign for help. It's supposed to be able to take your thumb, or maybe it's 2 fingers and over, but I think might be 3. Taking your fingers over your thumb and doing this is supposed to be the universal sign for help. And somebody help Phil. He needs help. Blink twice if you need help. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, but yeah, I think Skip was talking about micros. Of course, y'all know I'm a micro guy. I'm a micro guy that came to IO. You can see it sitting right up there now. With a Pro Spec, my Pro Spec batteries, and all of that, and I got confused on when the qualifying time was for, I think it was the oval race, and I didn't even get to fly it. I didn't fly anything but Whoop's 65 millimeter drones, at IO. And let me just answer this before I get more comments about it. Nobody has asked me to quit saying whoops. One way or the other, for me, marketing our race 65 millimeter drones is something I'm trying to get used to saying, because more people know what it is. Plain and simple. Buddy of mine was here doing some work for us, and I have a trailer called the Whoop Wagon. And he's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Do you like go Bigfoot hunting? Go out in the woods and whoop, whoop?" And I was like, "No, we call whoops in the drone world, the little small drones, we call them whoops." And he's like, "Oh, well, why don't you just call them like," I said, "We call them TinyWhoops." And he said, "Well, why don't you just call them tiny drones? More people would know what it was." And I was like, so yeah. Convert it to inches. Convert what to inches? What are we talking about? Y'all gotta love Phil. He's one of the greatest people. 65 millimeters. What's it, around 1 inch? Is that right? Let's see, 60. Is it 62 millimeters? That's I don't know. We use freedom units here on this channel. We might quote 65 millimeter, but that's why they're micro drones. Do the math for us, Phil. What is it? What's a 65 millimeter drone in inches? Be precise. There's going to be people checking you with a camera. With a calculator. Not with a camera. I can't talk. Oh. I don't know. Somebody asked Siri. 1.2. 1.2 inches. But Phil says it's 2.55906 inches. But see, a 65 millimeter drone, that's not its props. A 5-inch drone, that's motor post to motor post. A 65 millimeter drone, its props are 32 millimeters. So, what's 32 millimeters? Because see, we do it different on micro drones than we do, even like the Peanut here. There's a different standard of that. 31 millimeter props. Yeah, did I say 32? 31 millimeter props is 1 point. Is that right? Here I'll take this old brush. I found this old brush frame back here in the micro drone bin. But y'all know we went motor post to motor post diagonally, and that's how we measured for 65 and 75 millimeters. So a 3-inch, which is this, we're not going 3-inch from motor post to motor post. We're doing 3-inch props. So from 3-inch or 2-inch, which is 2 inches, is that 85 or is that 95 millimeter? Don't know. I think it's 85. But yeah. 1.2 or 31 millimeter props and 2.5 inches motor post to motor post. Yep. There you go, Bobby. Bobby's got it. You back, Skip?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Finish telling them what you were saying about the micro drone stuff. I have got to pause for the calls. Drinking a lot, because after a certain point, I don't think I can drink anything because I'm having sagity. But I'll be back. I'll be listening
Uh,
to everything going on, and you so I'm
Yeah, I
watching.
just think. Yeah, I just think that the new thing is going to be indoor flying, and it all depends on what all you can get indoor. Places like the new Champs Arena, I'm pretty sure that would be considered indoor at the BMX museum. But yeah, I think that is. Did I just build what, Bagzilla? Uh, my background or something? No, I've had this. This is my build room. Uh, but yeah, I think. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to have a whole race and like I don't know if you could just do it by event on the on what you're going to do and everything because they said even Fria's uh no the background has been like this. It's this is my actual studio, my actual room. And I should film in here all the time, but I normally it's not in the best. Like there's a mess in here, and I have to really clean it up. So it's a good thing you don't see everything else. But I got machines and drone parts and everything just everywhere. I can turn my head and probably see probably about 20 drones in the working. But anyways, these drones right here, these anything that's micro is going to be something that is preferred indoor. I think 5 inches can be done indoor if we spec them out. Uh, I heard rumors of a new spec, and I think it's around 5 inches. And yeah, I think that's the future. Is we actually take all of our drones and make them where flying drones is only enjoyable for the pilot, not that enjoyable for the viewer when they're wide open and going fast. So that's what's really nice about the specs like UDL, Pro Spec, and all that. So I think it's going to be more towards the viewer. Will be the future of drone racing. Uh, because you want to see the nice LED lights like that, the tiny trainer. Uh, you want to see you want to see that kind of stuff, and it might be for the better because we need to make it a spectacle that everybody enjoys, and you're able to film and know what you're looking at. Uh, 5 inches is great to see all the pros go out and just go all out, but not everybody can do it. And it's hard for people to get into the sport of flying or the hobby, whatever you want to call it. I call it a sport, but it's hard for people to get in this type of competition when you have people that are just crazy at speed. Uh, so I think spec is the only way for us to actually compete. I don't know. What do you think, Pastor?
I like spec. I'm I'm a spec guy. It's just it levels the playing field. We had a race this weekend, and 65 millimeter was fun. It was, but the UDL was so much more fun, and you know, and it was in the same area. The tracks weren't too much difference. Um, I just like it a lot better. is because when I'm flying UDL with other pilots that are flying it in spec, you can tell. Skip got first place in both events, but you can tell. When during a switchback or a split S, if you can kind of see the whole course, most of it, and I can see Skip's half a track ahead of me. Or if I'm right on Skip's butt and he goes into, do a split S and turns back real hard and he sees this green quad coming up behind him, he's like, oh crap, Pastor's caught back up to me. And, that's just, I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a lot better to spectate and, and UDL, is it, Skip and I, we've not pre-discussed, pre-talked about this at all. But UDL is even more awesome in a blacklight race, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I really like. So I hear a lot of people say UDL is so slow, and one thing I have to retaliate with that is, yeah, it is not, but not on a track. On a track against a bunch of people, UDL is a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just flying UDL around your house and doing it on your own, yeah, UDL is super slow. It's not interesting to do on your own. But I mean, like, do you take your pro spec out and fly it all the time? Do you take freedom spec out and fly it all the time? No, you get your fast stuff out and something that's going to be impressive uh, for a one pilot, thing. But when you're neck to neck and you're right beside each other and you're just fighting, that's freaking awesome. I love to see LEDs right in front of me doing the same maneuvers as me and me
Mm-hmm.
trying to catch up in a slower quad. I'm sorry. I used to be on the same bandwagon saying this thing is too slow. I'm not anymore. Just because I can watch my fellow pilots hang right
Mm-hmm.
with me, no matter how fast I am.
And and you can always fly 65 millimeter open, which is plenty fast enough. Phil had a good question though. He said, "Do you think they will ever have a weird drone buyback program like they do with firearms?" I don't know. From what I heard and what I was seeing in that House subcommittee meeting, it's just going to be more like, no, you can own it, but you can't fly it anywhere but indoors. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't eventually come after stuff like the BMX track. See, there's a difference between indoors and sheltered operations. The BMX track is not indoors. It's an open air venue. It just has a roof over it. So technically, under the letter of the law, they could say that now open air venues with a roof will now be regulated by the Department of Homeland Security, and you can't fly in it unless it is enclosed, that you can shut the doors and the drones can't get out. Because that's how ridiculous this 433 bill is. 333. It's three threes. But, and to answer your question, yes, Bobby, the BMX museum, it's not indoors. Think of a rodeo that's just got a roof, like a big gymnasium, big metal building that's just got a roof. We had some pictures of it, didn't we?
Pastor, I'm sorry. I'll be right back again.
Okay. I might be able to find a few pictures of that if I can bother with my stuff reading behind me backwards. let me see if I can be. I type slow, guys. That's my alarm going off. All right, let's see. Images. Yeah. Here we go. Make it bigger. I want to see it bigger. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Okay. Here we are. This is because it's, you know, it's got stadium seating. This is going to be awesome, by the way, for a track. But under the letter of the law here, would this would not be considered indoors. Now it could be made indoors, simply, you know, putting some tin and skinning it in. But you know, a building this size, if they did that though, I guarantee they'd have to add a sprinkler system into it, and you're talking, you know, easy couple $100,000 to sprinkle, just put a sprinkler system inside a building this big. I know I used to draw sprinkler systems. A couple RCR car tracks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's sad, but you know, unfortunately, it's it's what we're facing. Yeah. Wow. That it is a good. Man, I'd love to be able. I would love to live near that and have access to it. But I'm sure that most days there's bikes on that thing, probably just about every day. And think about ProSpec out on this thing, man. At night, turn all them lights off, put some LEDs in it and ProSpec it, man, it'd be awesome. Well, I think it's obvious why they chose that place. Because look at it, man. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get rained out. This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you were there at the red hangar at IO when I made one of 3 or 4 announcements about, listen, we need the AMA to build something like this. Not this big, because the AMA just don't have that kind of money. But, you know, everybody that was flying, supposed to have been everybody that was flying at IO is a member of the AMA, and we've all got voting privileges as members of the AMA. And if we all got together, if we spend half as much time getting together and doing stuff, fundraising, GoFundMe's or whatever, we could have something not this size, but maybe half this size, built out at Muncie. And you know, then you're golden, man. And so, but after you do that, you know, is this thing might be sprinkled. I'm looking here off the edges.
It looks like it's enclosed.
I don't think it's enclosed because there's other pictures. Let me see.
Because when you look at the outside of it, it looks like those are windows.
I don't know what pictures I'm going to come across here, guys. I think the sides are open. Oh, the good old days.
Place is gigantic, though.
It is huge. It is huge.
If you look at their Google Maps page, it'll show the outside of it.
The Google Maps page. I don't even know how to get to their Google Maps page. Is it under all?
Go to Google Maps and type in the BMX HQ.
That's Bing. Oh, I don't like Bing. I don't know how I got into Bing. All right. Bing. Google. No, not goggle. Google.
And we see why Skip is the one that brings up the pages
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Yes, we do. All
There you go. Isn't that the picture? Isn't that the first
Yeah.
picture right there?
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can see it's open. On the, let's
Okay.
look. Let's look. Well, we'll look more. It said there was 12 pictures. Didn't it say there was 12 pictures? I have 2. No, 1 of 2 is all it says. 1 of 2. It was not 12. Map. Huh. Let's go. Go Gadget Arms. Go. Street View. Where's that at? That's not it.
Well,
All right. Let's do this. Go back to Skip. There he is. He just appeared. Y'all see that? He was gone and then he just... Skip's not real. Skip's like Santa.
Santa.
Yeah, you wasn't there because it was frozen. Then it's like, bink, you were back. At least it was on my end. So, true. I don't know what it's true about, but Skip's like Santa. So, you ever play Santa, Skip?
No, I've never played Santa, even though I do have a white beard.
Yeah. Well, I got a big belly, and I've played Santa several times. So,
I was about to say I don't have the belly for it.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I think that we need to be ready to adapt and to change. I basically shared my opinion that I think DJI just screwed us all, and I think they're shifting away from primarily being a drone company to being a tech company. They're now starting to get into e-bikes and solar battery banks and cameras and stuff like that. And wisely, I mean, I guess if I was them, I would probably be starting to shift away from consumer drones also. But Bobby asks, he says, so do you think our drone stuff won't be worth anything? I'll tell you this. I have got a 20 by 20 shed. It's got electricity and everything in it that I use for my reloading. Out there in that shed, I have about 8 nitro airplanes that I can't give away. I could probably sell them if I cleaned them up and went to an AMA event somewhere, but the cost to ship them and how much damage gets done to a plane, especially a balsa stick built plane. I can't give them away.
So I've got some insight on what they want to pass as actual uh, rules,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
so they've got a drone integration zoning act. So this is allow local governments to regulate drone flights
The
below
good old
200
days.
feet, creating a new immediate reaches of airspace.
Decent gamer XD.
So there are also additionally there's discussion about expanding federal coverage for airports and critical infrastructure, allowing local law enforcement to take down drones in certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the stuff they were talking about in there. That local rapid drone response teams on the state, local, and county levels. Teams trained to bring down drone swarms or to fly up and investigate, and if possible, if needed, to take down a drone. So, how's it
So
going?
the whole DJI ban. So they have till December 23rd to complete the to complete the review. If they don't complete the review by December 23rd, DJI is officially banned.
They right now they are blocked. What it was said on the C-SPAN thing, that Immigration and Customs are blocking DJI drone parts, props, motors, parts, cameras, VTXs, antennas, so forth, and that where was that? What was I talking about? One of those moments. Oh yeah, that they're blocked, and they come out and said, one of these experts. Now they're testifying before Congress. They're under oath, and one of the people I asked on the committee said, on these autonomous drones, is it capable for the companies that manufacture the drones to be able to download the images off of the drones from over here? And they were like, yes. When you plug it in for an update, they can slip in behind and without the person knowing and download all of their data, all of their images, their high resolution images mixed with geocoded data. So not only do they have images, but they have geocoded data that they can make geographic, orthographic photos from. And it's a very clever way to map your enemy. And they said it right there in front of people in Congress, and they're like, what? And so I don't see, and I don't think DJI thinks they're going to come back. I don't think that they think that the government, that our country is going to let them back in doing the things that they were doing. I mean, we need to remember that there was people arrested and charged with espionage for flying over dams, nuclear power plants and things like that with DJI drones. They were actually arrested. Whether they were convicted, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't watch the news enough to know. But yeah, I mean, and this is one of those topics, Skip, that I want to be wrong on. You know, I want to be wrong. I want you guys to come. No, there's not a race today, bro. And I won't be streaming this Thursday. I'll be recovering from oral surgery. So, so yeah, this is one of these things I'd love to be wrong about, but I'm afraid that I'm not.
Yeah.
Skip about to fall asleep on us. He about dozed off. You'll know something about Skip. When Skip gets tired, he can sit down and doze off for like 5 minutes, and then he's back at it again. So he just he's just going again. I'm like, dude, you work like this all the time, and he's like, yep. Get out of my way. It's like, okay. So, but yeah, it's I can't show the HR 4333 stuff without covering up your head, but that was the stuff that that I watched, and one of my old drone buddies said that Drone Camps has a video about it, and I think he said Geeksvana or somebody. There's other people out there in the drone world that are talking about this. You know, based, and I'll just say it, based upon some of his rules. I don't, you know, I don't normally recommend going over to Drone Camps. Well, I don't recommend it, but you know, if he's talking about it, he's the only one talking about it. I don't know. You guys are adults. You big boys. I think some form of this
Z King
is
SPV.
is going to pass. With a, let me turn off Jarvis here so it doesn't talk over Skip. Hang on, Skip. Had it on for a minute. I hit X. There we go. I gotta have it open. Sorry. There we go. Now Jarvis is paused again. Z King says, "What do you think the odds are that they will pass? That it will pass? Some form of it. I would say upwards and above, in my opinion, 80%. What do you think, Skip?
I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised we don't have key figures in the community actually going to Congress and talking about this. I mean, there's a lot of popular people like JB, uh, and and that have big voices, and yeah, it makes me wonder why we care more about this drama
Yeah,
than about losing our hobby.
yeah.
Uh,
Now, don't get me wrong. We're not. I'm not, and I don't think Skip is either. Diminishing anybody's personal experiences, but
no,
but
absolutely.
together we stand, and divided we fall. But here's my rebuttal to that, Skip. JB may be a big voice in the FPV hobby, but he's a tiny, infinitesimal voice in America.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is a when you're in the hobby and you see all the people that are in this hobby, it's almost like we're kind of hidden from the world.
Hmm.
Because like before I even got into this hobby, it was popular, and I've only been in it for like 2.5 years, maybe 3 years at most. And before that, it was really big, and I didn't even realize it. Uh,
Mm.
so so unless you are the demographic that's catching the YouTube algorithms and stuff like that, I say there's a lot that normal people miss. And it's kind of, once you're in it, it's kind of hard to think that way because of how much community there is and how much support there is. But when it comes down to it, it's a niche hobby. Now, I say there has been more attention brought to it, but it's unwanted attention in the wrong direction.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I say that we're probably hidden when you start looking up war drones and stuff like that. I'd say our community is still probably hidden. Uh, that's the race and freestyle that I'm talking about. So yeah, you're right that somebody has a small voice, but on the other hand, these companies are like almost every FPV company is dealing with the military in some certain way, even if it's just building the same thing and the military ordering the normal stuff from them. There is military orders in most of these companies, and that needs to be recognized in 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 some form or fashion by Congress that the hobby is keeping your military alive. Uh, and I don't I don't know why they haven't made that correlation. Because there's plenty of senators and statesmen that see the FPV community in their local military
Hmm.
uh, places.
Yeah. It's but Skip and I both live here in Tennessee. Uh, so does Joshua Bardwell. But I could tell you, I could go to Nashville and just the state senate and say, well, Joshua Bardwell supports this, and 90% of the people up there be like, who? You know, that the world doesn't know what our hobbies like. And I was talking earlier about the spectacular things, the things that are spectacles. And the stuff that they do know about it is the spectacular stuff. The the Mavic hitting the airplane, the Mavic down in the helicopter during a rescue. Um, Somebody, that kid getting put in the hospital when he got hit by the drone in the drone show. And Z King says, I wish we could reach out to our local news channels and get a story going about the impact of the bill on the hobby.
Well, I mean, when I remember when vaping started, they had people from vape shops all around going to Congress, signing bills, having people sign local vape communities and stuff like that. It used to be like a whole trade thing, and it reminds me a lot of the drone community because the vape community used to like build their own stuff also, and they had to rely on like Chinese chips and stuff like that to build their own vapes. Now that died off as far as building goes and vaping and stuff like that because they had Chinese companies just over swamp all that for too good a price. And but the drone company thing has actually hit off in America, and it's not it's not died off because of Chinese companies. If anything, it's grown. And that's the thing is the owners of these companies are going to have to do something about it. Because if they do, there's a possibility, and I heard this firsthand that there's a possibility that these drone companies will get compensation from the government to grow their companies because they're doing the technology, they're doing the assembly and stuff like that in America.
Yeah.
But also in another light, I'd say that a lot of drone companies are kind of scared to get involved because they're ran out of people's basements. And when you're doing that and you have employees working for you and stuff like that, it's not exactly the right way. So and it's almost every hobby company or almost every drone hobby company around. There's very few that have their own brick and mortar store, like Rotor Riot.
Well, back, I don't know if you remember, but back during the lead up to remote ID, Tyler Brennan, the owner of uh, one of the biggest at the time brick and mortar hobby shops in the country, actually went before the FAA or some representatives, a fighter pilot, a U.S. Air Force, or I think he's Air Force, fighter pilot, went before the government and testified, filed a lawsuit, spent, I think, over $100,000 fighting it, and it did nothing. It didn't even really slow it down. And if they're not going to listen to a sitting, now this is not an ex fighter pilot. When he went, I don't know what he's doing now, but when he went, he was still, I think, in the reserves. I think he was still an active fighter pilot for the U.S. government, sitting here telling people that these things aren't dangerous, these things aren't weapons, but that ship is sailed, man. It's and the argument with that, we can't. I mean, that's Ukraine has what's happened there. That's put a nail in that coffin. That ship is sailed, and we will be. I have Jarvis turned off right now, guys, because Skip's on. He can't hear it, and it'll talk over him. But Raymond Carrera says, remember after 9/11, they wanted all RC pilots to register with them. Yeah, and some of the things they back down on and they back off on, and that's the only, in my opinion, that's the only way. That's why I give it 20% likelihood of not passing, or as much as 20%. Is the powers that be, which they also talked about, how would this hamper drone delivery companies, the companies that wanted to do drone, instead they were like, it won't hamper it at all, because these companies will abide by the law. We will know exactly what drone, when Amazon or UPS puts up a drone in the air to deliver a package, we'll know exactly that it's a UPS drone, where it's going, what altitude it's going to be flying, what kind of drone it is, and when it will return. And that all of that stuff is just, there's a part of our hobby that has always been like, F the man. And, I am for less government regulation. I agree with Ronald Reagan. One of the scariest things that you can ever hear is, we're with the government and we're here to help. I think that's one of the scariest things that you can hear as a free person. But we've had this attitude of, F the man. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and I'm gonna fly where I know I'm not supposed to fly, and all, and that don't help right now, man. You know, right now the in my opinion, right now, and correct me if you think I'm wrong here, Skip. Right now, I think the overall arching hobby of even airplanes, manned aircraft being flown out of your front yard, being flown out of whatever park you want to fly it at, gorilla whooping, whatever, flying a bando, that overarching hobby, it's not in handcuffs yet, but we're sitting in the back seat of the cruiser, and the officer has just called his commanding officer to see what charges they can level on us. That's where I think we're at. We're not in handcuffs yet, but we're close to it. And if you've ever been involved with law enforcement, if you ever been in law enforcement, or if you ever watched live PD or on patrol, you know that those people that are told you're just being detained right now. Sometimes if you keep your mouth shut and don't act a stone cold fool, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you get out. They let you out. They're like, okay, we don't have anything to charge you with, enough to keep you, enough to arrest you. We're going to give you a ticket and we're going to let you go your own way. But you start running your mouth, you start threatening the cop. When he goes to get in the car or something, you start banging your head up against the window, which some people do in the hobby. And, when the cop tries to get you out, you know, you grab a hold of him and, it's my first, I'm a sovereign citizen. How about that? I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Dude, I don't
Yeah.
care what the internet tells you. I know enough. I took classes on it, all this kind of stuff, and I know enough active police officers. Even if you do solely believe that you're a sovereign citizen and you have the right to travel in this country with or without a driver's license, please, if you get pulled over, don't start with that crap. Don't lead with that, because it's not going to end good. It's not going to end good for you, because I think just about everywhere the police have been informed.
Yeah.
Don't
Maybe
put
10
up,
years.
yeah, don't put up with sovereign citizens. They start that crap, call for backup, and lock their hind end up.
Yeah.
And and don't do it. Just don't do it. And
Well, I've
resist the
had.
urge to flip the cop off, and you know orbit him while he's you know fighting with a guy in the street with your FPV drone. Resist the urge. Resist the
Yeah.
urge
Well,
to land on the moving train. Resist the urge. Right now, we don't need this. So,
yeah. I actually had a buddy. We were flying at a park, and and he done his lance, and before you fly and everything, got authorization, and we're flying over a ball field. Well, across from the ball field was a small elementary school,
mm,
and they were playing in their playground. And we're like, all right, guys, we're not going to fly over there near it. Well, across from the school is a pond, and one of the guys flew over the playground and over the school to the pond.
I'm listening.
And we're like, hey, guys, we don't need to do that. Don't fly. That security guard out there is looking and pointing. Don't fly over there. Well, he flies back, and he flies over them too. Instead of going around, he flies straight back over the same thing. Well, sure enough, cop shows up,
Hey,
and he's like, "All right, guys, you know, you guys are gonna have to move somewhere else and fly." and it's a group of like 5 or 6 people. He's like, yeah, you guys are gonna have to move somewhere else, go somewhere else and fly. We got plane kids over there, and made the point of what if it was your kid? Well, the guy who got the authorization decided he was going to stand his ground, and the cop wasn't having a bit of it.
Yeah.
He literally said, "All right, I'm fixing to charge everybody with trespassing here, and then nobody will be allowed back ever again." And we're like, "Oh, we're packing up, we're leaving," and everybody's packing up at this point, putting their chairs up and everything. But this one guy, there again, he comes again. He's like, "Well, I've got this on my phone showing I have authorization by the FAA." And you could just hear
You could
the cop thinking,
you could see his blood pressure going up.
yeah, his fingers were twinkling for the cuff, and he said, "Buddy, I don't care what you got. You need to get in your car and leave, or you're getting or everybody here is getting trespassed." And I was like, "Hey, I'm not part. I'm leaving. I'm
Yeah.
doing as I'm told,
Yeah.
and all my buddies are too." He, I was like, "Buddy, we need to go. Stop what you're doing." He's like, "Well, we have a right to," and I was like, "We don't have crap. This cop is saying he's trespassing us if we don't leave. Let's go."
Where is your constitutional right that says you have a right to fly an radio control aircraft over a person? You don't. I mean,
Right.
yes, we have freedoms and all of that, and you know, I think we've all had that friend is like, officer, you better hush. My buddy Skip, he's drunk and he's gonna whoop your butt. You keep running your mouth. Those are the kind of people you want to throw in the trunk. Say, shut up, man. You're gonna get us all in
Well,
trouble.
I mean, now was he right? Did he have a point? Yes, he was right. He had a point.
There's a
If
lot of
that
people
cop
that was right that's sitting in jail right now.
exactly.
I mean,
If that cop were to arrest him and everything like that, and the guy had money to fight it, then there's a possibility of a lawsuit and all that. But most average American don't have the money or the means to spare and throw away on a gamble,
hmm
whether you're right or wrong in that situation. Because just like Pastor said, are you supposed to be flying over people's heads?
yep.
So
And
will the FAA actually back you up on that flight? Probably not.
and was this in the state of Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay, unless the officer did something that resulted in the uh, malicious death of one of you, even if you did sue and win, you could only get $200,000 from the state.
Oh, really?
That's it's see, people don't know that. And now you can go punitive. Punitive damages, I understand, are different, but you got to fight that. And unless there's no pro bono attorney unless it's somebody associated with the um, with the hobby that's going to take this. I'm about to take my insulin and I am out, guys. I'm gonna have to run in the other room and grab some. You want to talk on this more, Skip? Or you about how'd you feel with it, or how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Well,
We can go for a little longer.
okay. Well, give me about 5 minutes away from the camera. I don't mind
No,
showing
you're
you
good.
guys.
Go ahead.
I'm out. I'm out of insulin, so I gotta go get it. So I'll be back.
Uh,
I won't even be listening
Yeah,
now.
Michael Pereira
So
says, "Remember, the police' number one job is to protect your constitutional rights." Yeah, you're right. Uh, but when like I've been in an instance where these people were like, their parents are complaining, or their parents are scared that they're flying over the training practice of these runners, of these female runners, uh, of high school female runners. When we were doing freestyle over a open field next to a track, and which if you know anything about freestyle, you're moving and you're not paying attention to any, not much. I mean, but they came over and done had their mind made up. There's nothing you can say once people have made up their mind on what they want you to do, especially law enforcement. There's never an instance where they back down and say, "Oh, you're right. Let me back off." It's very rare, very rare. So, yeah, I believe they are, supposed to protect our Constitution and uphold the rights and our laws and everything like that. But once they've done decided, it's not, it's it's not a it's not a fight to fight. All right, guys, I am making a tiny trainer right here. I don't know if you guys were wondering what I was messing with, but here is an indoor flyer. I don't know if any of you, I know some of you guys in the chat own a tiny trainer, but I figured I'd show you what I'm doing. So I just put out a video on how to solder successfully, and it's mainly because I've done soldering videos before, and the same people that watch them still make the same mistakes. So hopefully the more I make, the less mistakes they make. Uh, but yeah, I think this is probably the future right here. Is drones about this size. I would love it to be bigger and bigger. I think we've tried X Class, and there's a new drone out. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if Phil is still in the chat or not, but there's a new drone that's got like a 9-inch prop with LEDs all the way around it, and it's really lightweight. Forgot what it was called, but that thing was really neat. The thing is, though, is they're giant, and giant drones are not only expensive, but a lot of people frown on them when you go and try to fly them around public places and stuff like that. I was flying a 70-inch uh, drone one time with bi-blades, and my one of my freestyle friends, he was like, "Yeah, that's too much drone for this part." And which, I mean, it sounded loud because of the bi-blades, but I didn't agree that it was too much drone. But he left shortly after that, and that's opposite what I wanted to do, was have somebody leave, because I was flying a drone that made them embarrassed to be there or whatever. So yeah, uh, I think big drones draw a lot of attention, and uh, and I think that bigger drones are a whole lot more to afford now. Just because of tariffs and stuff. I got a test set of motors the other day that cost $37 for some Whoop motors, and I was really surprised because you know Whoop motors you could buy them for like 40, $50 for the whole setup. Isn't that right, Pastor?
Yeah, you should be able to. Used to be able
And
to, at least, right?
yeah, I used to be able to. So, that's a lot of money for a tariff, considering it's only supposed to be like 20, 30%, right?
Yeah. You're building a tiny trainer?
Yeah,
Did you ever find out if that 90 camera was bad?
not yet. No, that's on my agenda real soon.
Yeah, Raymond, there's a lot of things that, you know, it's not really as much the cops as it is the prosecutors, you know, district attorney's offices and stuff. When they say things like, we can indict a ham sandwich, it's sadly, it's not as much about your rights anymore in this country as it is, you know, if the powers that be wants to make an example out of you. And right now, the drone community does not have a good image. We do not have a good name. It's not something that Congress, even on the state level, that people want to stand up for. And, it's sad because it could end up being, we could be looking at things changing here real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope not. I
Yeah.
mean, I like my 5-inch drones. I know you, Pastor, you're not into many yourself, but uh,
I'd like to race my pro spec once before they shut us all down, you know.
right.
And I got to talk to them guys up there in Knoxville. They're always having global qualifiers and everything, but the only time they ever have one's on Sunday. And yeah, I'm a pastor. I can't drive. I can't pastor and then drive 4 hours, 3 hours to a race, and then yeah. So I got to talk to them like that.
Yeah,
Throw me one out there on a Saturday sometime.
yeah.
Throw a fat guy a bone sometimes. So or a little Debbie cake.
Well, uh, our boss is going to China, so we had to kind of push one in there, squeeze one in there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Gina. He's going
Yeah,
to Gina.
yeah.
Well, man, I don't know if I'd be going to China. I mean, like soon?
Yeah, like soon.
Wow. I don't know if now's a good time to go to China or not. Burning.
Right. Okay. You do. You're right there.
Yep. I'm not going to be able to be on too much longer. I've got to
Right.
get ready for this surgery early in the morning tomorrow.
Uh, keep an eye on it. I've seen some oral surgeries go wrong, but
Oh, I had one. Had to spend 5 days in the hospital because of it.
Yeah, I wish you luck on that, and keep
Yeah.
you in my prayers.
Please do.
But yeah, I'm fixing to head out. Also, I'm going to finish soldering these motors, and I'm done for the night on this. But yeah, I if anybody has any comments below about what they think the future of the hobby looks like, I would love to hear your ideas. Or if you want to leave one after, if you just watch this as a video, let me know what you think below. I need some interaction on this because I think we're in a tough spot right now, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it, considering of all the factors. DJI didn't help out when they removed their geofencing, and which I see why they done it. They're like, if you think we're collecting data and everything, then we'll remove the data, which is part of the geofencing is part of the data because you're collecting data on the all the bases and everything, restricted areas that are around, which anybody could find on a satellite. I'm pretty sure. So, and I don't know. A lot of people act like these drones fly themselves. They definitely don't. You know,
Right.
there's American citizens behind these drones, and it doesn't seem like they think about that part because a lot of those DJI drones were saving lives, and now the people are struggling to get the tools in their hands, the right tools in their hands, and have to do workarounds and stuff to even get a tool for thermal imaging and infrared and all that. Which I heard what they do is they contract out workers and they also are allowed to buy used stuff. Which I don't know how all that works, but it's not good because we need to be able to rely on a manufacturer to make drones for our rescue operation.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of good uses for it. We was talking about that earlier, that search and rescue and all of that. Um, it's like me saying that my fork made me fat. Uh, this it's just an asinine argument. But uh, good night, Miss Octavia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could definitely use it. McFlies, you deleting comments that say Bible? I didn't see it. Must have happened when I was gone. I don't know. It happens. I put somebody in timeout one time just by holding my phone. So I try to when I'm on a live stream. If y'all see me, I try to hold it on the edges and stuff so that I'm not accidentally hitting something because I put a member one time and I timed them out for about an hour and they didn't say anything to deserve it and they didn't renew their membership anymore. I was like, I didn't mean to. I just if I fat fingered it, I hit it, and it just happened. So yeah, but remember those who fail to prepare to fail. So, and we need a game, we need a plan. Whether that plan is to get together and to lobby Congress, which in my opinion, I could be. Hopefully, I am wrong. Uh, that's that's a fool's errand um, there. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. Um, and So there's other ways. I think one of the things that we can do is we can stop the hemorrhaging. We can quit acting like a stone cold fool, out there. You know, um, don't don't make it worse. You know, if they started looking at this in 2013, or 2023, and we're already 2 years into it. But if we if we play our cards right and you know behave just a little bit more. I know some of us is hard. That's a hard thing to do, but just behave just a little bit more for a while, and you know don't don't buzz the governor's house, or like I did, but I had permission. I flew over the Secret Service uh, motorcycle brigade, but I had permission. I had authorization and permission before I ever did it, and it was at an event that they were at, but um, did have explicit instructions that if I flew over their shoulder or from behind, that I could not show any of that video because they didn't want the dash panel to be on YouTube. Even though you could walk up to it, they had the motorcycles sitting out there, but they were off. They were not running, and there was a couple of screens on them. I don't know what they were for, but there was a couple of screens. So, you know, I was wondering. I was looking for like some kind of little dish or something. Like, this thing got radar on it or something. I don't know. But the captain of that group was like, yeah, um, it's a non-monetized video on my channel, so you guys can go watch it. It's non-monetized because I used a Journey song in it, and Journey gets all the money um, for that video. So, all right. Well, Skip, I'm gonna wrap things up, brother. If you're
All right.
if you're at
Thank you, guys.
go ahead.
Thank
Say
you, guys. Check out our races. We got some races coming up. We have August the 16th in Alcoa. We have a 65 millimeter whoop race starting at 12 o'clock and going on to UDL that's ending at 8. So come check it out in Alcoa, Tennessee. And if you want to see me and Pastor, that's where you can see us
Yep. And
together
tickets
next.
and tickets are on sale for the championship at 533 right over Skip's shoulder right there, or upside down on his shirt. You can get your um, Southeast Micro Drone Championship ticket. We'd love to see you there. There's a lot of things we're going to try to do to uh, make it our own and make it unique from other races. So jump on out there and get you a ticket. They're starting to move. They're not moving quite as fast as I thought they were, but they're starting to tick on down now. And it won't take long until 48 tickets will be gone, and people will be like, oh, how do I get one? I'm like, it's too late now. So we do have till October, but the tickets are already starting to move. So
Yeah, and it's an official multi-GP champion whoop race.
that's
So
right.
you can go on the main events on multigp.com and check out the main events, and you will see the Southeast uh,
Micro
Whoop
drone.
Championship.
Yep, micro
Micro
drone
Drone
champion.
Championship.
Yep,
Sorry.
it's on there. It's a fully sanctioned multi-GP race. We're going to see to it that if you come all the way down, or you come up, you guys are coming up from Florida, you guys coming over from North Carolina, guys coming up from Memphis, guys coming from Kentucky, guys coming from Virginia, and maybe even some. I think might even have a pilot or two that's going to come from Detroit and Texas. So we will be giving out cash. Don't know how much yet. I'm not promising how much yet. I'm not even telling you what our budget is, because we're that dog don't hunt down here. But we got fun things going on with the token stuff that we're working on. You don't have one of those handy, do you, Skip?
No, I do not.
Okay. We're doing some fun stuff with the tokens. If you were at the race Saturday, you got some. I mean, just for showing up, people got some. So, and that's going to cause you. I'm going to bring some stuff that is just going to be prizes, but there's going to be other stuff that's for sale. And you'll understand when you understand the token system that we're talking about. It's for sale in race currency. And you'll understand that each of these tokens have a dollar value on them. And whenever you win a heat, if you get first place in a heat, you get 2 tokens. You get $2 for every heat that you win. If you get second place, you get $1. We do 4 up, third and fourth. They don't get anything. Every pilot got 1 for showing up. Then when you get to the finals, you get more tokens for making it to the finals. And when you podium, you get more tokens. And Skip's explained it. He can explain it much better than I do, because it was his idea. I'm just there behind him and trying to support him in it. It's a great idea. Go ahead, brother.
So if you win a race of any type, qualifying, practice, whatever, you're getting a token.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of it is you don't win prizes that you don't need. So you don't have, just frames or whatever laying around that you don't need, like you might have plenty of. So you can go to a prize table and pick out what you want. So if you have the most tokens, you get to get the first pick. Or if you're podium first, you get the first pick. So
There there may be things like this sitting on the table that said that it might be $50 or $75 or whatever. I don't remember what they cost. What did they cost? $150? Is that what they were? Skip?
they used to be 200.
200? Okay.
They've went up.
Maybe something like this on it, and you've only got $100. Well, get with your other team racers and people that's with you. They all got tokens, and they can hand you your tokens, and you can walk out with a brand new screen, or who knows,
Yeah, and if you do the follow-up races, you are able to take the tokens from the previous race and use them to the next race.
That's right.
Now, the championship tokens are going to be a little bit different, because we're going to be doing championship tokens first. And then whatever is left, we'll do the previous race tokens next.
Right. And whatever chapter comes to the race, whichever chapter nationally, not just in the Southeast, but whatever chapter at the end of the day, before any tokens are spent, has the most tokens, they will win a large trophy that will be bragging rights for the whole year. It will say, something along the lines of 2025 Southeast Micro Drone Chapter Champions. And it's just bragging rights that, hey, we don't take your tokens away. You still keep your tokens. if 901 Knoxville gets 50 tokens over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they get 50 tokens, and we at Middle Tennessee, we get 49. They walk away with the trophy. They keep their 50 tokens. Our guys keep their 49 tokens, and then they still spend them on stuff. And then whatever tokens you had from the race that's come, we had Saturday, which I ended up with 13. Skip ended up with 20, right?
Yep.
And so I've got $13 toward, now that don't count toward the chapter bragging rights, but I've got $13 worth of South, if nothing else, worth of Marty and Skip races currency. And you show up with those and say, oh, no, man, I really need that tiny trainer that you got sitting right there, Skip. I mean, you built that thing. It's nice. And Skip's like, well, it's $50. It definitely will not be $50. Okay. It's going to be more than that. Okay. But let's just say it's all I got's $25. Well, your buddies come up to you from around and say, man, I got 5 chips. I got 5 tokens. I'll give to it. And some people might just want to keep a token and just keep it. I mean, you're not going to be able to take it to the bank and spend it. And MultiGP is probably not going to honor it as currency at one of their events. It's like, I'm going to save up all my tokens and buy my IO tickets next year. I don't think Chris Thomas is going to be, but I don't know if you can amass enough to buy your ticket next year. Okay. If I'm still running the Southeast Micro Drone Championship, and whatever the race costs, if you've got that many tokens, and you tell me, Marty, I want to cash my tokens in for a ticket, I'll be like, all right, give me your tokens. You got a ticket, so you can even use it for that. So if you want to go camping, and you want a camping slip, and you got to pay for camping, because we have to pay for camping there. It's at a fairgrounds. You want to use your chips? Fine. Anything to do with that race. Now, you can't go out to the food truck. If we have food trucks there, you can't go out to the food truck and say, hey, I got 3 tokens. I want a cheeseburger. They're probably going to look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
But if you wanted to come into, I'm sure you'll find somebody that, especially if it gets close in this chapter thing, there may be a few guys from Knoxville, or there may be a few guys from Middle Tennessee or Bluegrass would be like, it's close. I've been doing the numbers. We're within 3 or 4 of beating Middle Tennessee, and you want a cheeseburger? That I'll buy your 5. I mean, hey, it's as long as you don't steal them, which we're not going to have any of that, from IO, but which I think that was handled excellent, because most people didn't know nothing about it until after it was over, and that's the sign that a problem was handled successfully. But anyway, as long as you don't steal, I don't care how you get them. As long as you're not stealing them or something, I don't care. And there is some talk about whether a chapter can draft or hire a certain pilot to be part of their chapter for the weekend. There's some talk on whether we ought to allow that or not. It might be fun. Then it might be, a race to see who can get T-Dog to join their chapter the first. I don't know. But I think it's going to be fun, guys. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. 3 nights. It's going to be like this isn't just a micro drone race. This is like a mini IO. There's going to be camping within rock throwing distance. If you got a kid that likes to throw rocks, you can probably throw rocks and hit the metal building we'll be staying in. we'll be racing in. All right there, just across the street's a big barbecue place. It's going to be 3 days of just awesome. It's Friday night, Saturday night, and we're leaving Sunday. So, yeah. So 3 days,
All right.
2 nights. So,
Pastor, thank you for having me.
yes. Yep.
I'm heading out. You guys have a good one. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I should have been out a while ago, but I'll be quiet tomorrow after they yank his tooth out. So maybe for a little while, just for a little while. 3 nights. We'd love to see you, Bags, if you can make it. I know it's a little drive for you, but we would love to see you out down here for a little Southern hospitality, man. If you can make it down here, dinner is on me one night for you. I don't know if that stammered or not because I switched it back around. If you can make it down here, dinner's on me one night. So I know that's not much, but I'm gonna be pretty busy. So, yeah. And if you want to, if your call. If you want to go to Mexican and we order burritos, I will try a burrito with ketchup on it. That's how much I love you, man. All right. Hopefully you can make it there. I know it's close to chance and all of that, but we're excited about it and hope that it becomes one of the things that people put on their calendar every year. Hope that we're able to do something that everybody in the community likes. So, all right, guys, I'm going to log off here. Remember, I will not be streaming Thursday night. I will not be on, most likely will not be on FMV, if I'm saying that right. And if I am, I'll probably be quiet. Yeah, I'd love to see you there, man. Love to see you there. And message me. You got my number. We shared cell phone numbers. Message me if there's a way I can help or something like that. Let me know, man. Let me know. I'm here to help. Here to help. All right, guys. No stream Thursday night. So remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep flying and rise up and meet me in the air.